welcome back to my channel. Who was it that first said that blondes have more fun? It was actually Clairol in the 1950s and 60s advertising their salon hair colours who coined this now famous phrase. Now, this is obviously heavily debated. As someone who has been brunette, strawberry blonde, ginger, redhead, pink and purple, I can tell you that all hair colours have equal amounts of fun in life. However, my lovely beautiful blonde hair is definitely my absolute favourite hair colour on me so far, and whilst it is beautiful and fabulous, it definitely does take quite a bit of maintenance. Today I wanted to share with you how I keep my blonde bright and beautiful and fabulous for as long as possible and how you can do the same. Something very important is that the start of every blonde's hair journey should always begin in a salon with a professional hair colorist. Possibly an unpopular opinion, I know, but lifting, bleaching and toning hair, especially hair that has damage or previous colour deposit in it, is a highly specialised and very delicate procedure. I actually went last year from a dark red dye to this beautiful blonde, and I did document the entire process in a video on my channel, which I will leave a link to in a card up above, but there is no way in hell I could ever have done it without my hairdresser. It's also worth noting that depending on how much dye you already have in your hair, how damaged your hair is, your hair texture and type, it may take more than one trip to the salon to get you to the blonde that you want. Sometimes your hair will just not suit being certain colours. For example, if you have very dark coarse hair with a lot of dye in it and you are wanting to get to a silvery white platinum, good luck with that! Always listen to your hairstylist when they tell you that maybe certain things won't work or that it is going to take some time to get you to the colour that you want. All they're trying to do is prevent all of your hair from melting off. So going home and buying a home pack of bleach because they said they couldn't do it in the time that you wanted is definitely not going to help. Obviously, being blonde is a monetary investment because you are going to have to get your roots touched up. If you are a very dark-haired person like me, my hair is naturally a reddish dark brown, then roots coming in will be super duper obvious. If you have followed me through this year and you saw me through the lockdown, I'm sure you noticed how dark my roots are in comparison to my colour. So I tend to go to the hairdressers every 4 or 5 weeks to get a root touch-up and a toner, and that's just the way that I feel the most comfortable with it. If your hair is already naturally blonde or red or another colour that isn't so noticeable, or roots don't bother you, you might be able to leave it a little bit longer, but just be aware that you are going to be probably spending a little bit more money than if you had a colour closer to your natural hair colour, or if you had a colour that's slightly less low maintenance. Once you have had your hair coloured and styled by a professional and you are at the colour that you want, there are some really easy things you can do to maintain it. Number 1, do not wash your hair as frequently. I wash my hair twice a week, I would say. I tend to leave 3 or 4 days in between each hair wash, and this is a really great practice whether you have coloured hair or not. Lots of shampoos and conditioners will tell you on the back to wash your hair every single day, but that's actually not good for your hair or your scalp as it dries it out and strips the natural oils from your hair. Shampoos without sulfates and parabens are generally the best way to go, and if you have coloured blonde hair, you should always be looking for shampoos and conditioners that are especially suited for this purpose. In the shower, I actually do a double shampoo. So I start off with the Naughty Blonde conditioner mixed with a little bit of the Body Shop anti-dandruff shampoo just to really get a good lather and to obviously keep my scalp flake free. And I use that to about a 80-20, so Naughty to Body Shop ratio, and I give a really good shampoo and then I rinse that out. I then go in with the Lee Stafford Bleach Blondes Tone Saving Conditioner. This is designed to keep tones fresh and vibrant with nourishing moringa, and it is of course vegan and cruelty free. I take this, I run it from the mid-lengths all through to the ends, really massage it into my ends of my hair, and I leave that on for about 3 to 5 minutes while I wash and exfoliate my body and I wash my face. And then before I wash all of the conditioner out, I go in again with the Naughty Blonde shampoo and I give that an extra rinse onto my scalp and then rinse everything out all at once. I find that this method has been the most successful for me. It keeps my colour fresh and vibrant and beautiful and blonde, and it really helps to eliminate those kind of brassier yellow tones in my hair. The thing that keeps your hair the most beautiful is not actually necessarily the bleaching, but it is the toner. The toner is the thing you put over the bleach to get a certain specific colour. So when I started getting my hair dyed blonde, we used more of a golden toner, which you can see in all of my videos thus far, but now we've actually switched over to a mix of a sand and pearl toner, which I think is even more beautiful. It's definitely my favourite hair colour combination on me so far. It's my perfect colour and it leaves you with a lighter, brighter, sandier blonde. So the toner is the thing that tends to wash out, which can lead to your hair looking a little bit more yellowy and brassy. So using tone saving conditioners and shampoos is really going to be a good way forward for you. I know companies like Davines, who are the hairline that my hairdresser uses, do alchemic shampoos and conditioners that have tone in them. So they do gold, sand and all of those, and those are a really good option if you want a colour boost. They also do really funky colours that can go over bleached hair and can provide you with a no fuss and no commitment wash of colour. The second tip I have for maintaining your blonde hair is to reduce heat styling. Now I do not heat style my hair at all other than blow drying it. And that is mostly because I shower in the evenings, not the mornings, so that I can curl my hair overnight, and my hair is very thick, and if I wash it at 7 o'clock it's not going to be dry until about 7 o'clock the next morning. So I have to blow dry it, and if you are someone who blow dries, straightens, uses heated curling irons on your hair, then you want to make sure you're using a lot of heat protectant in your hair. Before blow drying I use 2 products. The first is this argan oil hair treatment with Moroccan argan oil extract. This is an intensive hydrating treatment that repairs and rejuvenates, leaving hair shiny, smooth and healthy. So I use a couple of pumps of this into my hair and I run all through the mid-lengths and the ends of my hair. You don't want to put any oils or anything in the roots because that is just going to make your hair very greasy and weighed down a lot faster, which means you will then have to wash it sooner, and that's what we want to avoid. A new product I got that I really love, that I found makes a huge difference to my hair, is the Lee Stafford Bleach Blondes Everyday Care. This is a detangling and defends your hair against chlorine, sea salt and sun. So obviously as it is now summer, we are going out in the sun a lot more, and the sun and chlorine and salt can be really damaging to your hair. So after the shower then I will go in with this after the oil and just spritz it all through the lengths and ends of my hair, and I find that it really helps to keep my hair nice and bright and beautiful and blonde. If I've been out in the sun all day and my hair needs recurling, I will actually spritz some of this in and brush it through before I go in and curl my hair to provide it with a little bit of extra protection against the sun. When it comes to swimming, I'm sure we've all heard the horror story of blondes going green in chlorine. And the reason for this is actually because the colour of chlorine is green. So if you don't wash all of it out, the chlorine will stain the bleached hair and that's what makes it go green. So the most important thing is to try and wear maybe a swimming cap if you're going in chlorinated water, and to really rinse it out incredibly well, washing your hair after you've been in any sort of chlorinated water. You want to rinse all of the chlorine out, give it a good shampoo, a good condition to make sure that it doesn't dry out, and that will prevent any alphaba moments with your hair. When you're going in the sea, of course, the sea is not going to dye your hair green because there is no chlorine in it, but salt is going to dry out like nobody's business. So again, giving a good rinse after you've been in any sort of water will really do wonders for keeping your hair bright and vibrant. Blonde hair is obviously a little bit more fragile because you have put it through quite a bit. I'm very lucky in that I take really good care of my hair, so it is nice and soft and fluffy and lovely, and that is what you want your hair to be. I hope that this was helpful to all of my beautiful blondes out there. Remember that there is no one way to be a blonde. Just because you are blonde, it does not mean you are unintelligent. If anyone makes dumb blonde jokes about you and you really hate it, then feel free to show them who's boss. Remember that you are a fabulous, confident and wonderful person, and that your hair is not your defining feature. I've had a few people ask me if I have noticed an increase in attention since I went blonde, and I would say 100% yes. Especially obviously because I dress in a very vintage way. I do tend to get a lot more Marilyn comparisons now that I am blonde. Even when I am not dressed in any way necessarily to evoke Marilyn, I think the fact that I look 1950s just makes it pop into people's heads. So yes, anyone who sees a curly haired blonde in red lipstick, you will probably get called Marilyn Monroe, but you know, one of the most beautiful women on the planet, that isn't really anything that I worry about. I just take it as a fabulous compliment. So remember that you are your own person and that it's totally okay to be inspired by Hollywood icons or fictional characters, but just remember to always be yourself. So those are all of my tips, tricks and products to keeping my blonde hair nice and bright and beautiful. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and do let me know if you have any requests for other hairstyling, vintage, fashion, lifestyle, history, anything like that. Drop it in the comments down below. I love you all so very much. Please do remember to have courage and be kind, and may all of your dreams come true, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! I'm loving the blue. Just, it's so pretty.